Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I am Lady Stars and Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa. This is Breaking the Cage and exercising the matrix from within so that we can exercise all of that negativity in our life and we can get back to our spiritual well-being. It always starts with us, starting with ourselves. This is for September 8th through the 13th. I'm sorry I'm a little late getting the video out. It's just I've been going through my own whirlwind of things going on in my own personal life, so I'm just trying to get caught up so that I can get the video out there for you all and give you this energy forecast. Venus is sitting on Haumea this week. Haumea is the collective consciousness, so the keys to everything that you need to know are in the relationship. In the relationship areas, because that's what Libra rules, the relationship areas. But let's remember, Libra also rules justice and balance, and there cannot be any justice if there is not balance. So typically when Libra is showing you, it's showing you where it's out of balance. So it's helping you to find what you need to put to balance. With Venus being right on top of Haumea, this is talking to us directly about our sensitivity. I always say Venus is not love. Venus is your sensitivity. Venus tells you why you like it and why you want more of it. She tells you where you're desiring things that are healthy for you versus where you're desiring things that are unhealthy. She tells you when you feel the sting from the betrayal. That's Venus. I tell people all the time, if you put your hand in an oven cooking cookies at 365 degrees without an oven mitt and you burn your hand, that's Venus saying don't do that. So anything that is good for you, that your sensitivity, your physical body, your emotional senses are telling you is good, that's Venus talking to you. And anytime you're feeling the betrayal, the hurt, where somebody has lied to you, that's also Venus talking to you. She is telling you, hi everybody. She is telling you exactly what is good for you and what is not. She can coerce love because she also deals with manifestation of what you desire and how to get it and knows how to speak it and communicate it. But she also tells you when it's not what you thought it was at all. And this is why I said Haumea is the very collective consciousness is showing itself through Venus and that sensitivity in your relationship zones. Now, relationships are not just your lovers. Relationships are any and everything you care about. They are your friends, they are your parents, they are your children, they are your lovers, but they're also your working environment. You have a relationship with your money. I cannot say that enough times. That's the easiest way to understand. Anything you care about, you have a relationship with. And when you don't have money, you know all about that relationship. When time is up, you know all about that relationship. Venus's sensitivities are going to be speaking to you because the sensitivity level has been off the chart lately. But it's not stopping. We're still going into a more of a pressure. I feel like the energy of like a vice, like you're just feeling that under pressure level, and you do need to be grounded. I'm telling you, especially empaths and you sensitives, you need to anchor yourselves and ground yourselves. And if you need the protective energy around you, that protective bubble or however it is that you shield that energy, use it. But be grounded because these energies are going to be coming in like boom, boom, and like coming out of left field. And you're going to need to be able to think clearly. Last week, the last couple weeks when I've been doing the videos, I've been saying that Spirit has been reminding me that your unconscious actions are just as important as your conscious actions, if not more. Because what we still do from our unconscious mind is our habits. It is Virgo season. And this is your daily task, your daily mundane tasks of people, places, and things, of energies that you consume. That's what you do with your daily activities. activities are typically part of that mundane task. You overlook it. You don't realize how important these things are. And that's part of the unconscious actions. Your health, your diet. But your health and your diet are also the energies that you consume of the people, places, and things of energies. Okay? And those mundane tasks wrap into those relationships and the people you keep in your life. I do see messages coming across the board, but if I start reading them right now, I won't be able to concentrate and I'll get sidetracked. So I will go back and I will respond to them after the video, and I love you all and thank you. But there's very much pressure building on the relationships. I'd been stating that you were feeling that the Spirit kept giving us our unconscious mind, our due diligence as to what it is we have put ourselves into and where it is we're taking ourselves. As well as last week, and as we were coming to that new moon that we just passed, that new moon had energies that were still coming from that Lion's Gate. Now we're moving towards the full moon, which will be in Pisces. And I was trying to warn everyone, depending on what you're doing with your life, the people, places, things, energies you keep, that you consume, if you are not making the most healthiest choices for you and your soul right now, that when you come to this full moon, which I believe is next week, you will know all about those wrong decisions that you made. Because Pisces energy in a full moon is bringing everything up and into light. But Pisces energy is very dreamy. Pisces is very curious, dreamy, and mystical. It's ruled by magic. It's ruled by Neptune. And I cannot say enough times, Neptune don't care if it's positive magic or negative. It will create what you give it. Pisces are very, unfortunately, good at getting walked on. Pisces people, they have such a big heart. They're the ones who will bring home the stray dog. And sometimes the stray dog is the person who will do them ugly. This is about listening to your soul and understanding, because I was saying in the last couple of weeks, and this is about making sure these decisions we make and these new directions we're putting forth with this new moon that just happened, and we'll reflect that when we get to the full moon in Pisces. Pisces are very good at loving people and wanting the best and hoping the best for people. But sometimes you have to realize when you're hoping and you're living in a world of delusion because you know better. Sometimes you know people just aren't good for you, but you want to believe. And this is what I'm trying to get at. That Pisces full moon is one of those places when we're dealing with Pisces energies, it's not the place for denial. It's not the place for let's party and forget about our problems, because our problems don't go away. They just get put on the back burner and get bigger. And this is why I'm saying this. You're going from the new moon, setting new directions, new ideas, new things into, new directions. And full moon will tell you if you've made the right forms, made the right decisions about those directions, ideas, and where you want to take them. It will tell you if you are betraying your soul. I've been saying your unconscious energies are part of what manifests. This is what Spirit's been reminding me of. But Spirit reminded us all last week in the video when I was doing it for the energy forecast, that we have to look at what is it that our soul, what is it from our soul? Where is our soul taking us? Is our soul speaking? Or are we getting confused and we're listening to that ego that's giving us the fake idea of soulfulness? And this is where I'm trying to get at, because only you know if you are still abiding by the rules of what society and your life before you woke up has taught you. One of those things you hear all the time is once you've awoken, you have to unlearn everything that you learned. Society has put ideas in our minds for as long as we can remember. Are we acting from that ego standpoint of what society and what we've always thought was acceptable, or what you know your soul says is and is not acceptable? Are you going to portray from the heart and from the soul? This is a pressure blender right now, and I'm trying to make sure that you're getting these energies right, so that when you go forward and we go into that full moon, it's release, surrender, and let go what no longer serves you, but from doing it from a wise, spiritual, and soulful point of view, without putting yourself into more problems prior to that. It is always about, what is your soul telling you? Trusting it and knowing it, but understanding when your ego is misguiding you and giving you the idea that you're listening to soul, but really it's only bad habits that you haven't learned to break yet. All right, this week you have Uranus, which is squaring Saturn. Uranus is still in Taurus, and both of these are retrograde. Saturn is in Aquarius. I'm not like most astrologers. In Aquarius, I feel like Saturn wants to try new things. I feel like it wants to set new rules, walls, and boundaries, but it's not necessarily sure if it's setting them correctly. So this is trial and error. And it's always going to be for what is the best for humanity. Humanity, you know what I mean. For mankind, and what is the best way for us to go about it. But we have to remember, we're not just setting the example for the outer world and for what the outer world needs. We need to set it for what we need, because we have to start with ourselves. It's like they say, there are no bad groups, there's only bad leaders. Are they a good leader or are they a bad leader? When you look into your life, I say this all the time when I'm getting into the king of the kingdom, the queen of the kingdom. You've created your kingdom. Are you being a good king or queen? Would you look up to you? Would you follow you? So when we're looking at Uranus, your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your shock and awe, being able to brilliantly come out with something new. Are you afraid? Or are you more worried about making sure everybody else out there is happy and I'll just take what I can get? That's not the thing. You want to make sure that you're setting the proper rules, walls, and boundaries so that you can be the authentic you can be. But you have to acknowledge if you are not actually standing in that power by understanding if you're getting confused by ego or soulfulness, and if ego is giving you the idea that you've been standing in soulfulness, but really it's standing in the authority of what everybody in all of your life has always known. Are you willing to break free? Are you willing? Setting new rules, walls, and boundaries. That 11th house in Aquarius is all about the people that are in your groups, your memberships, your teams, your friends from that outer world, like work friends, and so forth. And are they there to support you coming into who you are and growing as who you are? Or are they only there because they're trying to get what they need out of you? This is where those rules, walls, and boundaries come in, so that you can be the creative person that you are, with self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and stand in that power. Uranus is having very unpredictable energies with Mercury, which is in Libra, that relationship zone. This is where I tend to come up with the word vomit. Mercury is communication. It is much like Neptune. It does not care if it's healthy or not. It's going to communicate what needs to be communicated. It is up to you and your free will if you are going to communicate it in healthy ways with yourself as well as in the outer world. So this is asking you directly on these relationships, if you want these relationships, if the relationships are exactly what you desire. Or if you're lying to yourself and trying to force yourself into believing that they're good and healthy. And then, like I said, it's also a relationship with yourself. So this is communication. And remember, Mercury is now going into shadow. It goes retrograde soon. So we're looking at the darker idea, the darker aspects of that communication. And then where it takes place within the relationships with yourself as well as outwardly. Uranus is getting along great with the sun, meaning it's illuminating everything for you that you need to see, good and bad. So about yourself and what you put yourself into in those people, places, and things of energies that you consume, but also consume you. The sun illuminates the energy. All signs take their orders from the sun. And the sun is speaking directly to your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, how you manifest your abundance, your money. It's showing you everything you need to see about yourself and what are you doing right or wrong, as well as in these mundane tasks. From the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed, you are in mundane tasks. You get up, you get out of bed, you go take a shower, you brush your teeth, you eat your breakfast, you go to work. What do you do after work? Do you go jogging? Do you have groups and memberships that you're part of? Are you at the bar? I mean, what is your life? Your life is your life. It's not up to me to tell you. But from the moment you get up, you are doing mundane tasks, which are all forms of health and diet of energy that you are part of. So are those energies that you are consuming you in healthy ways? Or are they not? The illumination is coming in this area. The sun is showing you everything you need to know. Just are you going to open your eyes and see whether, you're getting a pat on the back or it's time to make some changes. The North Node is sitting with Lilith in Gemini. Now here's an important part. It's pretty much not going to be moving. It's moving very slowly until the end of the year, when it finally moves into Taurus and Scorpio. So we are at the North Node and the South Node are giving you the slap down. Yo, I've been talking to you all year about these communications and everything that's up close and personal in your life. The North Node's not at that nice period anymore. The North Node tells you everything you need to know in order to move forward. And at this point, it's at, I want to say that show NCIS where he's always smacking Proby upside the back of the head. And he's saying, this is that kind of energy. Hey, I've only been telling you this all year. Are you going to get it through your head now? Or maybe this is areas that you've missed, but you've been doing your job, your spiritual homework. Everything that is up close and personal in your life, from your home environment to your working of how you create that home environment, the people in the home environment, the up close friends, the goals, the dreams are all part of the soul. This is all about communication and creativity. Anything that's up close and personal to you. This is not about looking towards the future. This is about looking towards right here and now. And what can we do right here and now? Because ultimately, that is what will create the future. That North Node is not being nice anymore. And it's not going to be nice anymore until it leaves Gemini and it moves into Taurus. And then it's going to be a whole new energy. Like I said, we're at those did you get the memo moments for the next 3 months, 4 months, until the end of the year. That is sitting right now on top of Lilith, which gives you a soul fire into it. Lilith is, I often see Lilith as an ego energy, but sometimes ego, if used properly, is just enough to let you know when you're already scared to take the action. Ask you, what are you afraid of? And then it tends to go into overdrive. It asks you what you fear. Lilith asks you where your fire is. You aren't here on this life to burn for anybody but you, for your soul fire. And that is what she's putting the memory back into right now. She's asking you up close and personal in your life, what is your soul fire for? And are you actually betraying it? Are you actually embracing it? Which one? And if you are doing your work, where is it? Those areas that you're ignoring. Because maybe you've been doing your work, but maybe there's this one field of energy that you're still in denial of. And that might be what she's smacking you with. This energy is getting along great with Saturn. So it backs up setting those rules, walls, and boundaries. It backs up you standing in your power. But there's a difference between being in your power and being afraid of your power and thinking that you're in it from an egotistical point of view. When you're entitled and when you're pushing people around and you're acting like a dictator, that's not power. That's fear of being caged. When you're in your power, you have nothing to fear. You just can put your foot down and say, I said no, and walk away. You don't have to be in their face with the word vomit. And you will see that out of other people. So many people are going to be coming out with that entitled, aggressive energy right now. And that's because they're truly not in their power. They're in an ego power. And that will help you also understand the ones that you need to be setting those rules, walls, and boundaries against. Because it helps you know exactly where your soul is speaking versus where the ego is speaking. That North Node in Lilith is got very much unpredictable energies going on with Venus and Vista. Okay, I got that. I left that part out at first. Venus is sitting on top of Haumea, but it's also sitting on top of Vista. Vista, for crying out loud, is the keys to the knowledge you need to know. Everything you need to know is in the relationship zone right now. Take a good look at the people, the friends, the peers that you keep. Maybe you have it lined up right, or maybe you're in denial. That's up to you in your own life. I don't know your life. I'm just giving you the information. I'm giving you the keys to the knowledge, to finding the soulfulness from within. The relationship zone is sitting on Venus, the sensitivity, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. She is sitting, it's also in the gut energy. And I don't mean trusting the gut feeling. I mean literally, it is the gut energy. I mean literally, it's sitting in this, you've got Virgo and Libra is all about the stomach itself. The stomach itself, the butt, and more or less flushing out the waste in the body, the physical body. So it's not just a gut feeling. It's talking about the gut. Are you holding these energies in here? Literally. Abdominal energies. Going to the bathroom. All of these things. This all has to do with the digestive system. This has to do with where these energies are right now. And if these things are acting up, it's either because it's trying to flush it out or it's telling you it's not being flushed out. Unpredictable energies, Venus, Vista, Haumea. Everything you need to know. The keys to the knowledge of healthy relationships are in the relationships. Take a good, eye-opening look at the people, places, and energies of things that you consume, for they consume you. All right? And then, is that supporting your soulful health? soulful, healthy growth or not. Listen to your soul. Listen to your gut. Do not betray it. Do not get confused by the ideas of, well, it's always been this way. Well, you know what? If it's always been this way, then you'll never have better. When will you strive for better? When will you strive for the soulful, wonderful, glorious, loving life that you want? No more settling. But let's communicate what we want and what we need. Or are we at a point where we already know we've passed that point? Only you know if you are at that point or not. I cannot tell you. But very unpredictable, powerful energies are coming up. And like I said, people who are uncomfortable in these energies are going to become very unpredictable, very entitled, very aggressive, very pushy. And that's a telltale sign that they're the wrong people, okay? Mars, again, is the only one really moving at top speed. The rest of them are either about to go retrograde or in retrograde. Because Venus is starting to slow down already. Mercury is already starting to slow down. Their energies are not fully in shadow, but they are starting to get into those shadow energies, the darker aspects. And then once they're in retrograde, it only communicates with you. It doesn't communicate outwardly properly. The only one that's communicating properly is the warrior. So what kind of warrior are you? What kind of powerful, soulful entity are you? Are you an entity that's of soul, love, and light and knows how to stand in its power without being aggressive but being firm? Or are you one that's a lion in a cage and you have to be aggressive, word vomit, point fingers, put other people down, be a dictator instead of a lover? Mars is your warrior. It is your inner SWAT team. It is your inner soul fire. It is your inner light, unless you can't locate it. And then it is that unpredictable roar of energy that will lash out at anything because it can't find the light. And it's trying to hold on to it with anything it's got. Mars, your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, your inner power, passion, aggression, and fire is in those daily mundane tasks of energies that you consume, that consume you. It's your daily health, diet, and energy. Everything that you do from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed, that's all mundane tasks. It is not getting along with Neptune. It's not getting along with magic. Because it's easier to do what you've always known. It's easier to follow your habits. But are your habits healthy? For those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know that recently I found out I was pre-diabetic, and I'm having a hard time with my job now being so much further, keeping my diet on healthy levels. And that is everything to do with my health. And I'm using that to share because I don't have the damn luxury of wanting to eat the crappy food. I don't have that luxury right now. I have to take care of my health. And I have to smack myself upside of the head and go, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. You have to get healthy again and get yourself back to right. You have to love yourself back to right. So where are your healthy diets, energies in your life of mundane lives? Where are you doing it right and wrong? Where are you loving yourself back to right? And where are you telling yourself it's going to be okay, it can wait, it can wait? Can it wait? Really? Do you know how much time you have left? None of us do. This is all part of what I'm talking about. Neptune creates magic. It creates the manifestation. And it can bring you anything you want. But if you're using your mind wrong to recreate something that's not good, well, that's exactly what it'll give you. And Neptune is in the 12th house of everything: grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities. And that's where you're going to have the full moon take place. This is why I said this is about overcoming all of those areas where you have been living that life of thinking soulfully this was the aspect, but really it was a projected idea set upon you, versus am I really coming into my soulfulness? And am I creating from my soulfulness, from my true soul fire? Check your ego on that one. Because it is not getting along with Neptune, which also is not getting along with the sun. The sun illuminates the truth. So it's right there for you. It's just, do you want to see it? Do you want to admit it? Like I said with me and my health and diet, I know when I'm drinking that soda. I know when I'm eating something I'm not supposed to be eating, that I'm ultimately going against myself. And then I have to put myself back on restriction. No, you're not allowed to do that because you care about yourself. You want to be here. These are the things I'm talking about. Mars has very unpredictable power going on with Jupiter right now, which means it doesn't matter if you're using that power, your inner warrior, in aggressive, positive ways or negative. It will abundantly grow because anything that touches Jupiter expands. And this is also talking about the rules, walls, and boundaries that you set to help yourself, as well as the ones you do not. It is incredibly unpredictable power energy right now, which can grow like a wildfire. But it is getting along splendidly with Pluto. Pluto is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. It is coming back to the light of yourself, coming to the light of your soulfulness in the outer world and allowing the outer world to see you. That inner warrior is there to stand that ground and do that as long as you're willing to go there. And are you willing to go there in healthy ways, like I said? But then again, Pluto is not getting along with Venus, which is sitting on Haumea, which is sitting on Vista. The keys to the knowledge, the very collective consciousness of the relationship you have with yourself as well as with everyone else. So this all comes down to, what was I saying last week that Spirit said for us? Are you listening to the true soul from within? Or are you getting sidetracked and stuck with the idea of what you thought was soulfulness before you woke up? What has always been acceptable? Well, this is the way things are. Well, if they are the way things are, and you accept that, that's how they always will be. This is all about, at the end of the day, you know if you're touching base with soul, and you know if you're deserting it. You know if you're betraying it. And that's what it really comes down to. There's no pointing fingers outwardly, not if you're doing your homework, not if you're truthfully growing. Chiron is not getting along with Mercury. That's the wounded healer, setting a new cycle. Mercury's going into shadow. It's going to be touching base with those darker aspects of the ideas that you don't want to heal because you've kept them in denial. They're those skeletons in the closet. Grief, sorrow, shame, blame. Are you continuing it by keeping it in the closet, or is it time to actually take it out, look it face to face, and let's heal this shit? It's getting along great with the South Node, which means exactly that. Let's ignore it. Let's put it on the back burner. We can do it next year. No, you can't. If you want that life, you have to do it now. And then Chiron's not getting along with Jupiter, which means the abundance is there. It is so right in your face. Just what will you do with it? Will you soulfully ignite? Will you soulfully burn? Will you find your light? Or are you afraid of it? And that's by truthfully admitting the parts of yourself and the parts of the life you've chosen to be part of your life that are not healthy. No more denial. The moon is moving through Libra this week. Then it's going to go into Scorpio. And then it's going to go into Sag before we start to go towards the rest of that full moon. So Libra is all about balance, justice, relationships. But justice cannot be served if balance cannot be found. Scorpio is extra sensitive energy. It's like the fire in the water, because it's the water sign that happens to act like the fire signs, but from an emotional standpoint, because it's all over that water energy. This is the Scorpio tale. It's all about your sexuality and everything that you want and your soulfulness. But at the same time, every sign has two sides. Scorpio can be the one who investigates when there's nothing to investigate, but will find something because, damn it, I'm going to find something. And anytime you dig hard enough, you will find something. It's the investigator in overdrive. It will gnaw away at your head if you let it, or it will take you in a very positive way. Where are you allowing your energies to go? Because you and you alone control your energies. And then Sag is where the South Node is. And this is saying, I can put it off for later. I can go on this idea. I can run off and do this weekend. I can explore all of this thing for the future. The future only happens when you take care of the now. And that is one of the biggest keys I could give you for the whole rest of this year. Your future only happens when you first take care of your now. I love you guys. I'll get back to you next week. Blessed be.